I do that at the end, don't I? Hello everyone, it's Father Aaron,
the Dungeon Master!
And our heroes are in the Elven realm, where they...
Hello.
What are you doing here?
All right, no need to shout.
Our heroes are in the Elven realm, where they have gone on behalf of Lord Morgan. They have gone seeking the help of the elves. Of course, Bob Johnny and Fleetwood are elves, and so they were chosen to go as emissaries on behalf of the human kingdom, looking for help against the orcs and the hobgoblins. Now, elves will happily fight hobgoblins and orcs. Whether they will risk themselves doing so on behalf of the humans is another issue. It has not been absolutely settled yet. The last we knew, the heroes had argued, and the queen chimed in to support, that if the hobgoblins and orcs destroy the human kingdom, well, surely the elves will be next, right? So it's looking possible, at least, hopeful. But that's where we left it, and the adventurers were welcomed into the Elven realm. Of course, that would be Touchberry and Foefire, because the other two are welcome anyway, they're elves. Welcomed and given the hospitality of the court. What this hospitality means is an open platform with no railings on which to have a meal. There's a fire in a special sort of, container to keep it from burning the tree down. And there's a large amount of food laid out, all sorts of good stuff. They can tell that the adventurers have had a rough road, right? All sorts of good food and all sorts of places to rest and sleep, etc. The room, if you can call it that, is magically warmed. The fires help, but really it is kept warm by the magic of the tree, the magic of the Elven king and queen. So it's not, it's open and it is wintertime, but it's not freezing cold somehow, and the snow doesn't blow in and all that kind of stuff. It does not make Touchberry feel any better, because, Touchberry is afraid of heights. And so he's conflicted. There's a large amount of food out on a branch, on a platform with no railings. So he's a bit stuck, but does eventually opt for the food, crawling on hands and knees to get to the center of the platform where the others make sure he has enough to eat, which is a job in and of itself. They stay there for some time, a few days. They heal up, they get to full power, and eventually a message comes from the Elven King, "Come and see me." And so they go, they attend on the Elven King and Queen, and there the king says to them, "We will grant your request. We will go to war on behalf of the humans. However," this is me throwing in a fetch quest just to make it more fun. "However, the elves, as you, Bob Johnny, and Fleetwood, as you know, the elves do not go to war without the Staff of Power." Now, this is not the Staff of Power as in the magic item list. It's my own thing. It is essentially... Sorry, I've been sick for about a month. It's a staff which conveys authority. It gives the Elven King really the command to lead the armies. All right? So he won't go to war without it. Just a side note. The point with this staff, right, is that it is required for the elves to go into combat as an army. They will not work together as an army. Their individual wills are too strong. They won't coalesce as a group without this staff. Now, if the Elven realm is attacked, imagine the panic that throws into the elves, as someone must go to retrieve the staff. Someone must call the elves to war, and then run to get the staff. Like it becomes a thing, right? And as it happens, the staff is well guarded, and so it's not an easy thing. This runs into what I think of the elves as being, well, they are made for peace, right? They want peace. They do not want war. They hate the orcs, and they will fight them. They hate goblins and hobgoblins. They will fight them, but it isn't in their nature, right? It's something that they reluctantly think must be done. So they are geared toward peace. They are the Switzerland of my campaign world. They do not want to go to war if they can help it. And so, in order to go to war, individual elves can defend themselves, but to coalesce as an army, which is of course more dangerous on a world scale than individual elves going around causing mayhem, which they don't anyway. But in order to coalesce as an army, they need to have this staff that makes it difficult for them to do and feeds into who they are as a people. I even have some notion that this may be a state of being, an obligation laid upon them by their God. Their God, well, we won't get into that right now. We need this staff to go to war. The staff, as again, Bob Johnny and Fleetwood, the staff was used 200 years ago in the Goblin Wars, after which it was placed into the lake for safekeeping. No one may draw it out other than the elf who calls for war. You came to me and called for war. You must withdraw it. Okay, so it's a fetch quest. As I said, it's a fetch quest. Just something to be kind of fun. They have to go. They are going to have to go to this lake, and they are going to have to withdraw the staff from the lake. The Elven King gives very few details, assuming that the elves know about it, and I tell Fleetwood and Bob Johnny's players a little bit about it. Yes, this staff is kept in a lake, and I'm drawing on Arthurian legend here, by the Lady of the Lake. And the boys had fun. The princess of the pond, the oracle of the ocean, the person of the puddle. They had fun with it. Anyway, they have to go and they have to retrieve this staff. Okay, and the only way to get to it is through the Wailing Pass. The Wailing Pass. And immediately, Fleetwood's player says, oh, okay, it's going to be a mountain pass, and we're going to hear crying and screaming all the way through it, which, yeah, is what I had in mind. Anyway, they are given a guide to the beginning of that pass, because although it is known in the legend of the elves, it's widely accepted that it's out there somewhere, the exact location isn't widely known. Why would it be? So the guide is going to take them to the head of the pass. He will go no further. He will not enter with them. He has other business to do, bringing the message to the eastern areas of the Elven realm to prepare for war. So sick. So sick. Okay. So off they go. And they journey for a little bit. Nothing happens with them while they're in the Elven realm. The Elven realm is peaceable. And then they come to the pass. The ground begins to rise in the foothills of the mountains, and they find themselves walking through a valley. The guide takes them there. And up ahead, as the mountains rise, there is a gap, an opening. I, again, use the same mountain pass things that I made for several adventures ago out of floral foam, and boy, that was a bad idea. But anyway, I use those again because they're handy. This is a way, essentially, of doing wilderness travel where you don't have to worry about your players wandering off in the wrong direction. This is something Daniel at Bandits Keep talked about a point-to-point wilderness adventure where there are paths. And you'll notice this in a lot of my adventures. I use this technique a lot, just so that it's not so open that we just spend 3 sessions faffing around in the mountains, right? Now, 3 sessions faffing around in the mountains might be fun. There might be adventure in that, but that's not what my group wants. They want objects and goals. They want to reach things. They want a more structured. That's what they're after. So I'm not going to just send them faffing about in the mountains for 3 sessions. They have a route to follow. Anyway, into the pass they head. Their guide wishes them well and heads back to complete the rest of his mission. All right. I should mention, obviously, the elves are coming, but Touchberry and Foefire are coming along for the ride as well. Now, interestingly, when memorizing spells, you'd think all combat, right? 2 webs, 2 lightning bolts, because they're now 6th level, 2 magic missiles, just all combat, but they don't do that. Fleetwood takes 1 phantasmal force, and Johnny takes knock as one of his 2nd levels, right? Why they chose that, I'm not sure, but it's good to reward your players for less belligerent and obvious choices, I think. So, in they go. And as they proceed in, after about an hour's walk, they begin to hear the sound for which the pass is known. The wind whistling through the crevices and the cracks makes a moaning sound, ethereal, haunting. And below what the wind is doing, there seem to be legitimate voices crying. They press on, not one to be scared by voices. Occasionally there will be trees growing in the mountain pass, but it is largely barren. There are trees up on the edges, and I gotta tell you, those trees were annoying, because when I would reach down to move a mini in the trench, down in the pass, the trees would get caught on my shirt and carry them away, so we eventually did away with those, but they were nice for mood and atmosphere. They continue through the trench until they reach a point where there is a turn. And the turns here are not natural, like, carved out by... No, it is a sharp, sharp angle. It's unsettling and strange, but they take the turn and go on a little further, and the wailing grows and grows and grows. Everyone get your weapons ready. Everyone is on guard. And so I have them make a wisdom check. Right, rolling a 1d20 and trying to get their wisdom or lower. And all but one of them succeed. I think it's Touchberry misses it. You're talking about something. You're talking about the last meal you had. You're describing in detail the spices and the flavors. When the ground around you begins to stir and rumble. Right, everyone but Touchberry notices. He walks right into the back of Bob Johnny because he's talking away. What? Turn his head, look, as the ground is disturbed, and out of the earth come emerging zombies. Now, these were in a pack of stuff I got from Shonuff. He sent me a whole bunch of stuff, and gobs and gobs and gobs of these zombies. Gobs of these zombies. So, thank you, Shonuff. They emerge around a dozen zombies surrounding them. Okay, and I am very careful to place them in such a way that Lightning Bolt would not be a terribly useful spell, because I had enough of encounters being, flipped on their head by Lightning Bolt. So they're all around surrounding. So you could shoot one, but you're gonna get one, right? They decide that zombies are probably small enough, they'll slog it out, although Bob Johnny does begin with a magic missile. That is the first thing. The party wins initiative, and this starts a chain of me rolling initiative and getting a 1 every stinking time. And then I decide, they're zombies. They're zombies, they're slow, you always get initiative. And it might actually be in the rules. I gotta go look again. I know one of the undead have that as a rule. Anyway, that becomes the rule whether I meant it to or not, so the zombies are always gonna lose initiative. The party begins to wail, right? And they're attacking. In the first round, it all goes quite well. I mean, everyone's hitting. The zombies hit back, though, and, they do some damage. And then the next round, the dice just say, nah, we'll take the turn off. For the players, at least, because they hit nothing. They whiff everything. Touchberry is swinging wild at his zombie. Yeah, Bob Johnny is a Brasingus. He's got that axe on fire, but he's missing like crazy, and so does Fleetwood. Oddly, Fofire, who generally is known for missing with her bow, actually connects, but now the zombies are too close and she's got to drop the bow and switch to sword. Their luck continues for at least another round. It was a while before they got any good hits in, and the zombies are hitting them and starting to coalesce, so there's 2 or 3 on each of the heroes, right? They're beginning to overwhelm them. At this point, finally, the luck changes, and the party start cutting them down. It's not an easy battle, just because of the numbers, and because of that span of bad luck. So they do get beaten up a good bit, but the zombies eventually are all eliminated. Well, okay, we can handle zombies, that's not a problem. We still have a couple drafts of healing potion, and Touchberry's got his sword, and nobody is in such danger that they've got to employ that yet. Let's keep going. So they keep going, and they find a widening in the pass. Again, not a natural one. The walls of the pass suddenly jut out to form a diamond-shaped area. A couple of trees grow here, scrubby, small. They find it deeply unsettling, and they proceed with extreme caution. They're at the center of the clearing, the opening, when they hear a hissing, snarling sound. Zombies. They don't see them anywhere. They are coming off of the cliff at the top, emerging from the forest surrounding, and walking just utterly heedless of their own safety, because they're zombies, off of the cliff to come get them. They take damage as they fall, and I roll for the damage. I just roll for the group. I'm not rolling for another dozen zombies. I'm not rolling that 12 times. I just roll 1, and that's what all of them will take as they just walk off the edge and come down and get up and start ambling toward them. Now, before they can all get down, Fofire picks one off with her bow. It doesn't kill it, but it does a lot of damage. It falls, and the fall then kills it. So between the arrow damage and the fall, it's gone. But they mostly pick themselves up and begin advancing, and rinse and repeat. This battle goes quicker for the party. They are having better luck with their dice, and the zombies are having worse luck with theirs, but it does get down to 1 zombie they can't hit. At the end, there's 2 rounds, so they try to hit this thing, and just none of them hit. They're all ganging up on him, and they all miss. The statistics on this is Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead levels of improbability. But at any rate, they swing, they miss. The zombie claws them. I think only hits once out of those 2 faff rounds. And then finally they do bring it down. In all of the fighting, and they were back and forth, the snow in the center of the pass, in the center of this wide area, the snow got kicked away. And beneath, rather than the rough rock surface that they have seen, or the sort of sandy patches and whatnot that they have seen through most of the pass, it's polished marble. Polished to a high sheen, black marble with gold seams running through it. Run! You know, so there's, I don't know, I think it's Fofire says we should check it out, see what it is. Nope, run! So, okay. They run, and they continue down the pass. They do end up having to spend a night here, right? And at this point, the pass has begun closing in on them, getting narrower and narrower. So they're now sleeping overnight in quite a cramped area. They wait till they find, I say every once in a while there'll be a boulder that has fallen in from above, rock fall that has come in. They wait till they find a pretty big boulder to kind of hide around the corner of.
That is a nice boulder.
Because they just find it creepy to be completely exposed. So that's where they spend the night. I don't know why they don't send Fofire up the cliff. She could easily scale the thing, throw a rope down, and they could spend the night up there, out of the pass. But they don't. Instead, that's where they sleep. As it happens, the dice are kind to them. No encounters. I rolled a 2. So, no encounters for the night. They wake up the next morning. They memorize the same set of spells. And they continue. They are getting closer now. During this day's travel, in the late afternoon, they hear, oh dear,